Hey guys, what's happening? Hope you're doing really well and staying safe out there and all that kind of stuff. I'm at home and I'm trying to make stuff up, to be honest. I love to go out and I love to travel and take photos, and obviously I'm not doing that. So I'm trying to come up with different challenges. I did a video, God, which corner is that going to be in? That corner? I don't know. It's different when I'm holding the vlog camera versus sitting at my desktop, but I think it's over there. Anyway, I did a video the other day about an isolation editing challenge, which was about monochromes. Like, take some old photos, turn them into monochrome, experiment, try to find out or figure out some things you can do. Anyway, this is episode number 2 in my isolation editing challenge, and this one's about product photography. And to be clear, I've never done product photography, but hey, you got time at home, you got stuff you can take photos of. Let's just make a photo challenge out of this. So that's what I'm doing. So let me show you what I did. I set up a little kind of studio in my office. I'm setting all this down, and God, that's really crooked. Hold on here. Now let me see if I can zoom a little bit. Well, I'll tell you what, here's what I'll do. I have a cup, and this is just a little red teacup, okay? And what I wanted to do is set it up with like I'm making a little product not portfolio, like a little product well, a product shot. I don't know what you call it. So I have this table, just a trusty little side table, and I did this. I set it up right there in front of my office closet. Let me see if you can see that. I'm gonna get out of the way. There you go. And I once saw in a Peter McKinnon video like 2 years ago, he used as a backdrop like a baking pan. So this is a rusty old piece of crap tin baking pan, or baking, like a cookie sheet, whatever you call it. Anyway, I set it up like that, and I set the cup in front of it, right? Boom. And I thought, this is gonna be great. And admittedly, it looked like crap. So here's what I did. I was like, I need a black backdrop to make it a little smoother and a little bit better. So I took my trusty Skyloom shirt. It says Skyloom right there. You can kind of see that, I think. Anyway, here's what I did. I took that down, and I went and I tucked all that shirt in like that, and I put the cup there. Now, that's a really sloppy job because I took my time to get it right. Whoa, almost broke my wife's teacup. Oh crap, don't tell her. It fell off, but it's fine. So anyway, let me show you what I set it up like. It's just like this. It's just the baking pan holding the shirt and just sitting there. That was probably terrible video. Anyway, I set it up. So that was my product backdrop, for lack of a better word. Pan holding a black shirt sitting on a table. I smoothed out the shirt so it was kind of smooth. And then I set up my trusty camera here. Let me show you that. Here we go. It was something about like this. Let me show you. Here we go. Something about like that. So I had on my Sony camera here on my Happy Peak Design tripod, which I love, and I just set it up like that. Now, to be honest, let me flip the screen back so I can see myself. Now, to be honest, the lighting was better. This is an evening. I'm filming this here in my office. For those of you that remember my old videos, there's the map. I still have it. Love that map. Anyway, the lighting was better. I had some nice light coming in this window because I filmed that like on a didn't film it. I took the photos like on a weekend day, like a Saturday or Sunday last weekend. And I also have this little lamp here, which has a removable sort of neck, right? So it's just a cheap like IKEA lamp that we had in a different room. I just brought it in and said, I'm gonna use that. Anyway, that's why I set up the shot. So now we're gonna hop into Luminar, and I'm gonna show you how I edited the shot and took it from a basic teacup on an old nightstand thing, side table, with a baking sheet holding up a t-shirt, and how I turned that into a product shot that I'm kind of proud of, right? It's not amazing, but it's pretty fun, and it's an interesting challenge. I encourage you to check this out and try to do this at home with your own stuff. You'll have a lot of ideas, I'm sure. Let's hop into Luminar and edit this photo. Okay, now we're in Luminar, and here's the base photo. So as you can see, red teacup on a black t-shirt, although you can't really tell. And it's not super smooth, but it's probably smoother than I was doing over there just a minute ago. Anyway, that's the base photo. And I took it, the base layer here, I went into the light tool, I cooled it off a little bit. Well, by a little bit, I pretty much went all the way. and a bunch of contrast, took down the highlights. The one thing I didn't do very well, and that is because I don't shoot products and I don't really have the right lighting, to be honest, is there's a fairly significant glare across the cup. If you look at that before and after, I think it looks a little bit better because I've cooled off the temperature from that warmer look to this cooler look, but that glare is pretty significant. That's something that you would want to pay attention to. As I continue to experiment with these techniques, I'm going to try to maybe find other ways to, sort of overcome that. I'm going to need better lighting and that sort of thing, but this is all just fun. So I'm not trying to say, look at my amazing photo. I'm just trying to say, here's an idea that you can do while you're isolated at home. So anyway, first things first, I did the light tool, and then I wanted to go do something a little different. Okay, so I went to layers and I said plus add new image layer, and what I did is I went and downloaded, I just searched on Google and I found a free, like a wispy smoke thing. So I went and I added it, and it just added a bit of steam coming out of the teacup. Now, that's a little bit more like smoke and less like steam, but I just kind of liked the look of it, and I thought it fit kind of well, even though, again, I'm just making this up. I'm just having fun, and that's what I encourage you to do. So I went in there and I did that. Now, the thing is it was basically smoke on a background, and so I changed it to screen mode so that it would blend perfectly, and I think it came out looking really good. And then I went into the masking and I took the brush and I erased a little bit around the edges just to clean it up. But basically I was able to quickly take a teacup shot that was like that and add some steam coming out of it to make it look like that. Another thing that this entails is when you add a new image layer, it's going to cover your entire image. So I went into layer transform and I basically shrunk it down. As you can see, I shrunk it down like that. It was covering the entire frame, and instead I just shrunk it and positioned it right on top of the teacup. Once you're finished with that, you just say done, and it's all set. Okay, so now that I have that in place, the next thing I did is I went and got a new adjustment layer. So let me turn that on. I'm going to go over here. I used light again, and as you can see, it did make a difference. You can tell that in the photo already. I'm sure you saw it change. I cooled it off a little bit more. I bumped up smart contrast. In this case, I actually bumped up the highlights, and that's because I wanted that. I didn't want the blue of the temperature change to really impact that, and I wanted to really pop the whites in that smoke or mist. I guess it's not really smoke if it's like a cup of coffee or tea that's steaming, but anyway, I bumped up the highlights to make it be a little bit crisper. Okay, next I went into the color, and here I played with the red in the advanced settings. So as you can see here, I just took the hue down and the saturation and the luminance. I don't know how big of a change it is. There's the before and there's the after. It's a little bit of a richer, more cherry red to me as opposed to kind of the orangey red that it was before. This was simply done because I wanted to change the color of the red a little bit, and that color setting, the advanced settings and the color tool give you all those options. So I like where it is so far. The last thing I wanted to do in this layer is I went over to the Pro tab and I got adjustable gradient. And here I basically bumped up the contrast both in the top and the bottom of the image. You can see the impact that had. Let me turn that off. There's before and there's after. So I went 25 on the bottom in contrast, and on the top I went about 19. But this layer I think had a pretty good impact on the photo. There's the before. You know, you can still see the background. You can really make it out. You can even see kind of the fold. And at the very bottom, you can kind of see the edge where I kind of didn't, I could either crop that out or whatever. But with the darkness and the added contrast, I've now got it to where I've basically isolated the cup. It looks like it's sitting on a real backdrop. And now disregard the glare in the cup because, again, I don't really know what I'm doing. I've literally never done this. But I'm going to get better because I'm going to have the time. And that's my challenge to you, is go do some of this stuff. Experiment, have fun, and learn some things. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm just learning it live on YouTube, whereas you can practice privately, I guess. I don't know, whatever. But the cup now, to me, looks like it's on a professional backdrop, like somebody really knew what they were doing, apart from the lighting and the reflections. I think you can see the lamp and the shade in my window. Anyway, that's not the point. The point was I made a thing, and here's my thing. Now, I did one other thing, and I'm sort of torn as to whether I like it or not. I showed it to my wife and daughter, and they both said, that looks really cool. And what I did is I went and added a new image layer, and I got this photo that's just basically like bokeh balls of different colors, kind of purpley blue, and I did the same thing. I stuck it on there. I moved it to screen because it was a lighter overlay, and then I took the image opacity down to like 21. So all that is, I just created a little bit of bokeh sort of background. And then I went into the mask and I took the eraser and I just erased it from the steam or the smoke because I didn't want that laying over what I consider to be kind of the core part of the photo. But I like it, kind of overlays a little bit on my glare on the cup. I think the purple and blue kind of complement that red. Anyway, it's something I liked, but if you didn't like it, if you like the more simple version, you can just take that and be done with it. All of these, the bokeh balls, if you want to call them that, and the wispy smoke thing, I just found on various websites. There were a couple where that you have to join a mailing list. You can also go to Unsplash. I found some smoky, misty stuff on Unsplash as well, which you can join for free. So these things are out there. Just go find them. But that's my photo, and with the bokeh stuff added and then erased from the steam, that's that. So let me show you where I started. There's my red cup that I nearly broke a minute ago. Don't tell my wife. But anyway, the cup's fine. There's the cup on my Skylum t-shirt sitting on a little pedestal with a rusted piece of crap baking pan holding up the shirt. That's my backdrop. And there's my final result. Very different, but a lot of fun. That was my challenge, my friends, this time. So I'm going to keep doing things like this, just taking weird crap and just trying to make photo challenges out of it, because we're all going to be sitting at home living our virtual best lives, trying to make these fun photos. And I hope it gave you some ideas, my friends. I appreciate you watching very much. Thank you so much. Hope you're doing really well. Stay safe out there. I'll be back soon with another challenge. And by the way, when I post these in the Facebook group for Skylum Photography, by the way, if you're not a member of that group, please join. But when I post these, feel free to leave a comment with any photo that you've edited like this, or just tag me if you post it, whatever. I'm having fun. I hope you're having fun. Thanks, my friends. Have a great day. Take care of yourselves out there. I'll see you soon, and adios.